Ah, Sir Oran. It is an honor. I would be most interested in hearing what you've been doing these past 10 years.
I've got nothing to say about it.
What's the deal with Yevon? Do you ever notice that the followers of Yevon walk like this, but the Al Bed walk like this?
It's true, we're so square. So lame. What a disaster. I have such a fucking headache right now.
Oh no, do you want any leave or anything?
No, it's fine. I find that a little suffering makes my podcasting better.
You're a stronger man than me.
I have SOS podcast when I'm in critical HP. I get extra podcasting powers.
Extra goofs.
That's right. Yo, you want to hear something real crazy?
Yes.
My name's Curtis.
My name's Carl.
Name's Alex. I guess we're in it.
And this is the Every FNFF podcast, the only Final Fantasy podcast where the hosts are not afraid to go full hog naked in the studio.
In the stew, we call it. We're stewing in the stew.
Did you know that more American men wear bracelets than eat stew?
I forgot about that. What kind of stew do you have today? Did you see that Bill Oakley retweeted that?
I did.
Who was it who originally said that? Adam
Carolla.
Okay, dude.
Yeah, I know. What was he trying to say by that?
I don't know. Some man show.
I mean,
bullshit.
look. I do love a good stew. I mean,
yeah,
like,
stew's great.
That's the weird thing about it is that I was like, I could easily wear a bracelet and eat stew right now.
Yeah.
But like, that sounds like a good time.
Yeah. Not enough people eat gruel anymore.
You know who seems like a real gruel fan?
Dave Grohl.
Dave Grohl. No, I was gonna say Seymour.
Seymour,
because...
for sure. I was
Because
gonna say, you know who probably would love to eat some stew right now? Titus, because he's always so hungry.
Yeah, he's so hungry.
I like your segue better there.
Yeah, because we're out of Meehan High Road, baby.
Yeah.
We just took our final nap.
Yeah, took our final nap.
I mean, Lulu says the last time we'll be able to rest like this.
Yeah, that's true. It's true.
We have evolved.
Pee before you leave.
We have evolved past the need for chocobos because we're not allowed to bring them on.
That's right. That's
which
right.
I really wish we could because they would be really helpful.
Yeah.
Yeah, they helped us get across the ocean and about 1 mile.
Yeah, right.
And like, nope, that's it.
That's it. That's all you get. But we are into Mushroom Rock Road now.
Mushroom Kingdom.
It's my favorite genre of rock.
Road.
Mushroom Rock. Yeah, I didn't really hit. That's all right. But yeah, so we come into Mushroom Rock Road and like we're immediately into another scene here, right? Like we don't even get to walk around really.
Well, we're like on a cliffside, kind of. There's
some
water. So we're approaching. We're approaching like the bay or something.
Dude, I was having like a fucking like a stress moment last night, like playing through this game, and I was like, how the fuck are we gonna describe what this area looks like? And I just sat there and I was just like, I'm fucked. I have no idea how to say what we're looking at right now.
It's fine.
It's fine.
I was thinking of it as
we don't have to.
Very much like a Final Fantasy VII like early game environment, just in terms of like how to navigate through it, because like it's like a kind of cliffy area.
Yeah, so it's like it's a large cliffside against the ocean, right? Which the ocean is now on the other side of the world. So like it's not.
We're on a peninsula or something.
I guess so. We must be.
Final Fantasy worlds are never really that big anyway.
Yeah. So yes, we're on a cliffside, and the cliffside has like large indentations into it, which is where we're walking.
Yeah.
Right, and it's kind of like multi-leveled as well. It's really cool. The old adage of the best way to describe it is go to google.com and type in Mushroom Rock Road. But it's nice.
It's a Mario Kart course.
It is.
It's not quite as good as Baby Park, but
just nothing's good as Baby Park. Baby Park, do.
Yeah, this looks exactly like Chocolate Mountain or whatever from Mario Kart 64. But yeah, like walking around here, I got vibes of like the train graveyard or walking through the slums in Final Fantasy VII, where I'm like, well, I see the way I have to go, but it's kind of like a little weird. But like luckily in this game, you have a map, so you pretty much just can look at the mini map and like walk around it.
Yeah, you immediately know where you're able to walk.
Yeah.
But So do we go into a cutscene when we first
Immediately.
Yeah.
right after we pass the gate at the where
Yeah.
we were able to get through now?
Yeah, there's a bunch of Crusaders, and they're talking to Seymour, right? So like Seymour just passed in front of us. We see him immediately afterwards, and they're like saluting him. All hail Master Seymour.
Yeah, one of them says the thing that's always good to say about a person, which is all hail.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, definitely no like negative
Nothing-
connotations to
no.
that historically.
I have a
ever.
good feeling about Seymour.
So yeah, he's probably on the up and up.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
all of the red flags that we've seen so far.
No, it's all
I got a
just-
good feeling about
I think
this guy.
that's the twist. That's the twist of FF10 is that he's going to be a decent dude.
That would be awesome.
But yeah, so he's addressing them, and he says,
Brave Crusaders of Spira, protectors of all Spira, believe in the path you have chosen. Let faith be your strength. I, Seymour Guado, Maester of Yevon, will bear witness to your deeds today.
and they all do like a salute.
Like a salute,
too. Yeah.
sir.
And then it shows our party, and we're kind of just like watching them or whatever.
They show our party, and Waka is like front and center, and he's got the most like.
His face he's so upset.
He's real incredulous.
Yeah, and he's like, what's going on? Why is Maester Seymour back in the Crusaders? They're using Al Bad Machina. They're violating the teachings.
Yeah,
and he like
he's
says it
real
very
betrayed.
He says it very pouty, too.
Yeah.
He's like, they're violating the teachings.
He's extremely pouty, much like my cat who was trying to get in, and I could hear him scratching at the door, and my mic might have picked that up.
Yeah, turn on the piss piss.
If you would like Carl to let his cat into the room, hashtag let fish in at every FNFF on Twitter.
Dial 1 now.
But yeah, like, man, Waka's really gone from being like my absolute favorite top tier character to be like, shut up, Waka.
Even going against the teachings, they're willing to risk it for the greater good. Waka, I think Maester Seymour sees that too.
So she's like trying to talk him down. Fucking Yuna, I love Yuna so much,
Yeah.
so good. And he's like, Lulu, like trying
Yeah,
to
he's
get,
looking for backup
He's looking for
anywhere.
backup, and nobody's giving it to him. And Lulu, who's like doesn't want to get into it, is just like,
She has the philosophy of the podcast, which is, I can only speculate.
yeah. And then Orange just says, ask him yourself. And we turn around, and Seymour's walking toward us.
Hell yeah.
And more specifically, I feel like he's walking toward Yuna. Like he's like only ever interested in talking to Yuna. It feels like
And I think the camera also kind of like
zooms in on her kind of.
yeah, like it's kind of focusing on her as if like that's his primary focus as well.
I don't like it.
No, it's
I don't
very
like it.
weird. There's very very weird stuff going on.
And then like Oren doesn't step in the way, but he doesn't make way
Yeah.
for Seymour.
Yeah, he just
Oren
stands there looking-
He just stands there.
Cool as hell.
Yeah, and so Seymour walks up to him and says, Sir Oren, it's an honor. I would be most interested in hearing what you've been doing these past 10 years. And Oren just says, I have nothing to say about it, and walks away.
It's like if you like don't call out of work but don't show up and your boss is like, "Hey, what were you up to today?" I got nothing to say about it.
Yeah. God, I love Oren too.
It's so good.
And like Seymour kind of shrugs it off, and he's talking to Yuna and says, Sir Oren must be a great asset as a guardian. And she's like kind of flustered, I guess. And she's like, Your Grace. And he like does the thing that like everybody in JRPGs do where they go, oh, no need for formalities, just call me by my name, that kind of thing, you know?
Yeah.
It's very like anime. We're like, oh yeah, we can't, like, we're making a video game, we can't type in Your Grace, Highness Maester Seymour, every single thing, so let's just have all the characters call them by their first name.
Yeah.
Oh, then Waka.
Waka's so good.
He's like, excuse me, Maester Seymour?
Super sheepishly too.
Why is your lordship present here, sir?
Presently present.
Yeah, and speaking of anime, he's doing the anime nervous, like embarrassed, like
Yeah.
hand behind the head
Yeah,
thing.
yeah. And like, you know, Seymour again tells him, just speak normally.
That's kind of rude to say.
Just be normal. And if it's not Titus, it's
Yeah,
Waka.
it sounds like us talking about Titus.
Yeah. And Waka says, isn't this operation against the teachings of Yevon? Aren't you going to stop them? And Seymour says, it's true, I should. However, both the Crusaders and the Albed truly wish for peace in Spira. This Operation Mihin was born from the wish they share. Although it may be sacrilege to Yevon, their intentions are pure. And I, Seymour Guado, pure. And I, Seymour Guado, the person, not the Maester of Yevon, as a denizen of Spira, I wish them well in their endeavor. And like, I can get behind that. I'm cool with that. Like,
Yeah.
That's all right. Like
it's a very interesting thing. I feel like the just everything around like Yevon and the teachings and stuff is very weird.
No, it is. It's very weird. It makes me very uncomfortable.
It's just so like that would be like if the Pope was like, yeah, like you're committing a sin, but you know, like me as the person.
Well,
that's cool. I wish you the best.
This is why the podcast fucking rules, because we can debate each other about this.
Hell yeah.
The thing I like about it is it would be, to me, it's almost more like if the Pope was like in say like Catholicism, we would look at this as a sin, but you're not hurting anybody. So who am I to pass judgment on you?
Yeah,
for that reason. It's kind of how I'm reading it. I guess.
I think it's just because it's Seymour who's saying it, and I have like
and
immediate
so
distrust.
Yeah,
because if this was anyone else, like if this was Waka with this stance, I'd be like, "Fuck yeah, character development."
Yeah,
but
exactly.
But it's the dude who's like the dude in this religion.
That's true. If the very first thing that we've
and just going back to like our first experience with this religion, where like we completely like. We did something bad enough that, like with Titus just barging into, you know, the Chamber of the Faith and all of that in the cloister.
I thought you said a Chamber of Secrets, and I was like, God damn it, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, like with him bursting in and stuff, and then like nothing happening because of it, and they were just like, oh, whatever, yeah. Like he did that, but whatever. And then it was like that is a thing that's bad enough that in the next like town that we were in, another summoner was like, yo, I'm gonna get this summoner in trouble. We're gonna throw this dude into like something forbidden. And like nothing bad has ever happened. And now like the fucking leader of the thing that everyone is like very respectful of is just like, yeah, it's a sin, it's against our teachings. Like you, Waka, believe this with every fiber of your being. And again, I don't agree with Waka. But he's like,
you're right. Yeah, I guess I didn't see it that way.
Yeah, it's just very strange.
No, you're right. You're right. That is very strange. I didn't really see it that way, I guess, because we have like the outsider's perspective of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Because you want to be like, okay, well, the Albed and, you know, the Crusaders and the people who worship Yevon should all, like, come together and you know. But the other thing, too...
dismissive way he's
But
going
just
about
like, everything that we know up until this point about Machina and why it's forbidden is because they're like, Machina brings sin here.
Yeah, right.
And we already kind of know a little bit about this operation that they're planning, and with, like... So, like, it's not going back to, like, oh, it's not hurting anyone. It's like, no, this is explicitly putting literally everyone in danger.
Yeah,
like, we were talking about how Luca might have been destroyed because we had, like, the cargo.
That's
so
true.
It's like...
Maybe Waka is just one of those guys that takes the Bible very literally.
Yeah.
No, you're not supposed to wear clothes made of two materials.
He's a
Maester
fundamentalist.
Seymour, Leviticus says you're not allowed to eat shellfish. Why did you get popcorn shrimp from Popeyes?
And so Waka says, but using Machina, that's bad, isn't it? And then Seymour says,
pretend you didn't see them.
Yeah, like, dude, what?
Yeah, that's weird. And he goes, Waka says, beg your pardon, that's not something a maester should say. And he goes, then pretend I didn't say it. Oh, and
that's some
Waka
real
puts
Catholic
his hand,
Church energy.
Yeah. Waka puts his hand on his head and he just goes, oh, you're kidding. And Seymour just walks away from him after that.
Yeah.
So, like, I feel like those additional lines also, like, characterize Seymour in a certain way, where it doesn't seem like it's out of some kind of, like, genuine love of his fellow man at this point.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, what the fuck is he saying now? Or he just didn't want to deal with Waka, which, understandable.
Fair, yeah.
Right. And we get a narration from Titus. He says,
from the first time I laid eyes on him, I never did like Seymour. But you know, some of the things he said that day, they made a lot of sense to me.
So for the first time, I feel like we and Titus are in a similar boat where we're like, okay, the thing he's saying is making sense, but I don't like him.
Yeah,
it's because he's still simping for you, that's why, right?
For Titus, sure, probably, yes.
I don't like this guy.
I don't trust Titus to have like
a mature reasoning behind it.
Right.
Unreliable narrator.
So we're now able to walk around, and there's kind of two directions we can go here. We can continue down the cliff face, or the cliff side, I suppose, or there's like an inroad to go into kind of like a canyon area, right?
Oh, I think I forgot to go right.
You're not able to. I was going to say, like, the thing is, we're stopped.
Then you lied. Why do you lie to me?
We can try to.
I think I tried that immediately, and it was like,
yeah.
Nope. Also, before that, it's pretty interesting. We do get another one of those Indiana Jones like map things that shows like our trajectory and stuff, heading to Mushroom Rock Road. And I'm looking at it now, and it actually like it contextualizes like all of the trips that we've taken so far because it has everything laid out on like the world map that we can look at. We can look at right now, but it's like, oh, okay, so that's how they, you know, Besaid to Kilika to Luca, and then like on foot the rest of the way.
Yeah, and actually it says the destination is the Temple of Yevon Jose.
Yeah, because like the thing about it was I was like, oh, we only see that when we're on a boat, and I was confused as why we're doing it now. And I'm like, oh, okay, it's just like that. It's weird that a Final Fantasy game is like spelling out the world that way, but I guess
it's cool though. It's
really cool. I guess it's just part of like normally in Final Fantasy games you would kind of be at the world map by now, so you would be able to see how.
And this game doesn't have.
It doesn't have that
overworld map.
Yeah.
But yeah, so and there's some people who along the way they do that thing where they say like, oh, hey, here's an ether. Be careful on your trip. And we have a couple more of them.
More summoner simps.
More
Giving us
summoner
600
simps.
gil.
Yeah. Simpiners. We get a couple new types of enemies. There's Thunderflans here.
Yeah.
Whoa.
There's a cool, like, big dog called... Oh, God. Whatever. Anyway.
I'm trying to pull up my screen.
It looks like the thing that Auron fought in the Colosseum.
Yeah.
That he gave that smug look to.
Oh, the Komodo dragon thing.
Yes, that guy.
We fought one of those with one swing.
And then, if we try to go right, or actually, like, if we try to do anything, Clasko shows up and runs into us. He's the Chocobo Knight with Lucille and Emma. Mm-hmm. And he says,
"Excuse me, Lady Summoner Yuna?"
Yes.
"The command center. Maester Seymour requests your presence there, ma'am."
Take that road to the command center. It's not far. We're still in the midst of preparations this way. Sorry. And when he says this way, he's talking about to the right. That's why we can't go to the right.
Yeah.
They're in the midst of their preparations. And if we try to go past him, like if we try to run past him, he goes, no, not this way. Or yeah, he goes, no, not this way, that way. I guess I'm not very good at explaining. And if you try to talk to him, he goes, sorry, just doing my job.
I know. I don't even make a good guide.
I like Clasko.
I like Clasko a lot.
Yeah. I'm just like, oh, I want good things for Clasko.
Yeah, I'm rooting for him.
Like, he seems like a real, like, peaceable lad.
Yeah.
Like, he just wants to hang out with chocobos.
Yeah.
And, like, I like him. He's a good guy. And then there's Owaka doing the fucking...
Oh, the worst.
The worst. We already were like, Owaka, you fucking shifty bastard. Like, I think we've already brought up the term disaster capitalism
100%.
in regards to Owaka.
Yeah.
And he's literally just spelling it out for us now, where he's like, I sure love when people get fucking killed because I can upcharge.
He is, brace yourself, I'm going to make another Dark Souls reference, but he is somehow, like, more despisable than, like, the undead merchant in Undead Burn. He's like, oh, where did I get all my wares? Like, I stripped them off of the corpses around here and brought them back. And he's like, and when you die, I'm going to go to your corpse and take them back and sell them again.
Yeah.
But I mean, I guess in that world, it's like you die and then come back, so it doesn't really matter. But like,
the real,
Owaka's just like literally like...
The real strat is if you kill Owaka, you can get the Uchigatana, which is a really good weapon. That does not happen in FF10, just FYI for anybody playing with us.
The Uchigatana is the final weapon for Auron.
Yeah. But yeah, he literally says, be making a fortune with Operation Mihin prices. Oh, you motherfucker.
But it's cool because he gives us a discount.
He does give us a discount. He says he owes us one.
I guess,
but still, you motherfucker.
But I'm wondering, too, that might be depending on if you've given him Gil.
It may. I know
I haven't
later it
looked,
will be.
Okay. I wasn't sure if it was a thing that like we should know about now and plan ahead to, or if it's like, you know, a spoiler kind of thing. You know, going playground rules.
Yeah, right. Yeah, playground rules. The thing that like our podcast is the exact opposite of, because we're like literally telling people how to play it. Or maybe it's the same as us, I guess.
I like to think it's in the same spirit.
That's fair. So I have now looked up the answer to that question. And yes, it does make a difference. So depending on how much money you've given Owaka, it does change its prices.
Yeah, it looks like there's different tiers.
There are, depending on how much you've given them. It doesn't change the weapons themselves.
Okay,
like they're always the same.
All items and weapons get a 100% increase in price.
If you don't give him any money, he's selling them to you at twice what their value is.
So you have to spend a lot. Oh my god!
A decent amount of money.
Piece of shit.
I know.
It's my Sam's Club card.
So pretty much what I just read, I think I'm reading this correctly. Until you get to like a certain tier, then he discounts them.
Yes, correct. Yeah, and until
everything
that point,
until it's just like, oh, it's 100% marked up, or 50% marked up, or 30% marked up, and then it's finally like you get a 20% discount.
Yeah, yeah.
But I feel like that math doesn't add up. I don't know, like later on, it probably does, but what a motherfucker.
I know. So the people who are like literally like life and death trying to save Spira, he's like, I'm gonna charge these motherfuckers 200% of what normal price for this thing.
Yeah. What a piece of shit.
What a fucking piece of shit. I hate him so much.
Yeah,
he sucks ass.
Hand sanitizer in a U-Haul storage unit.
Yeah.
God. Yeah. Fucking asshole. Anyway, so he's here.
I like that he said he snuck past the guards.
He did. So yeah, he's like,
he snuck past the guards with a shit ton of weapons.
Yeah. Well, I guess he's gonna turn away weapons at this point, maybe.
It's for the operation.
I'm getting way too many like vibes of like real time, like real world shit.
No, I know.
And I'm like, oh my god, dude. I mean, he's smuggling weapons to the good guys, I guess. I don't know. I don't like Owaka. Any way you slice it, I don't like Owaka.
Yeah, no, he's problematic at best. Yeah, so we go into the next area, which is more of like a canyon, I would say. Like we're kind of in between two cliff sides now. We've kind of departed. We've gone inroads from where the ocean is.
Like the lake that Waka pushed us into if it was drained.
Yeah.
This is lots of obviously weathered rocks and stuff. Just thousands of years of just wind and water.
I will say that with no bloom or effects, this place still looks very moist.
Yeah.
Like I get a real damp feel from these textures.
Yeah, like
and that's not because of the lighting or anything.
You would walk around even in like Titus's like boots, and your like socks would get like wet somehow. And you're like, the fuck?
You're like,
squishy.
Yeah.
I mean, it's called mushroom. It could be all fungus for all we know.
Yeah,
that's true. And I think the reason that I found that it was like, oh, mushroom rock or whatever, is these little weird platforms that we find here.
So the very first thing that basically comes up is that there's just a big cliff wall and no obvious way to scale it. But there is an NPC standing there, and she'll give us a high potion and then say, Yevon's emblem bears mystic powers. Step on the platform and you shall see. And there is like a little platform with that Yevon symbol on it. And if we step on it, like a rock comes out of the ground that's like lifted by water, I guess?
Yeah.
Or something, and then like lifts us up to the next area. So mystical magical. That's the reason.
Everything's water powered in this one.
And then
water punk.
Lordy, is there a fucking walk to the next area?
Yeah.
You know what's funny about this? So I've been playing Final Fantasy X2 recently, and I think that they improved Mushroom Rock Road, because this whole area, they were like, you know what? The first screen is enough. Let's just take out all the rest of that shit. So they just let you go from like the first screen to the end of where we'll be today. They're like, you know what? This isn't necessary. So I was like, oh, I prefer that one. So when I was walking through it today, I was like, God, how far does this place fucking go?
That's okay. It's a nice brisk walk with no horrible encounters.
Oh, yeah. So let's talk about the enemies, right?
You can get into an encounter with one of those weird, like Gilly monster or whatever. What did we call them earlier?
Komodo dragons.
Komodo dragons. Yeah. One of those with 2 dual horns next to it.
Yeah.
Like that sucks.
Yeah.
Wait, I didn't get any dual horns in this area.
Yeah.
There's some real rough ones.
I went through and like got the dual horns like down pretty low on health and like took care of it and did like the strategic thing of being like, oh, Arn attacks this thing, you know, use darkness on the other 2. And then like my party was kind of like low health, and I was like, oh, I got to bring Yuna in. And then I remembered Curtis's strat of just using Valfor, and I was like, I'm a fool. What have I been doing?
So here you can find the Garudas as well, the big flying monsters. And I was like, one giant monster? That sounds like summon battle, baby. Let's bring Yuna in. Fucking Valfor died. And I was like, you're a summon. You're a fucking ghost of a fucking spirit that was torn out of a human body by Yevon itself. How can you not take on a fucking one single flying monster?
Yeah.
Well, you gotta cast darkness on it first, and then cast.
Yeah, that's what I should have done. But I did level up Yuna a little bit, and then I was able to do it later just fine. But I was like, I thought I'd be able to take it just fine. It's a summon. But that was not so. Anyway,
summons are pretty weak.
You know, they're like,
sometimes they land an attack that's like Titus would have done better.
They're both real strong and real weak in some aspects. It's really interesting.
It's an interesting take on summons, because before it was pretty much just like, oh, use this button to win the battle. And I mean, that's just not the case with like anything in Final Fantasy X, which I really like about it.
No, it's great.
Because it's like...
It makes you think.
Bringing in a summon isn't just like... It's like bringing in a new party member that's, you know, maybe better suited for the enemies or whatever, but it's also limiting yourself because you're like, okay,
less turns.
I don't have as many turns. I don't have haste. I don't have like darkness, depending on what summon you're using or whatever. So it's like
can't use items.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
It's. I really like it.
Yeah. No, it's cool. I do like it too. I just wanted to do it for the camp of having two flying things fight each other.
Yeah.
And then I could just go, mine's stronger, like in a very dumb way. You know what I mean? Like not an efficient way. I was just for my own pleasure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a certain enemy here that I want to talk about last that me and Alex talked a little bit about on the way here. So there's more of these like little iguana guys that Titus takes out that are really fast. There's fire elementals that Lulu can take out pretty quickly.
Or if you have one of the ice blades, you can do some damage to it.
Yes. Yep.
It's not as good as using like Blizzard with Lulu, but you know, you can do more damage than if you were just attacking it.
Right.
There's some iguanas.
Yep.
There's those genies that Waka can take out of the air.
Yeah. There's like weird flying, like they remind me of depictions of Jinn.
Yeah. Yeah, the Gandara.
Yeah.
Gandara is Michi.
Gandariwa.
Yeah, I'm lost. I don't get it. Yeah, and then there's one other enemy that I wanted to talk about. The fucking Fungar.
Oh, yeah, the Fungar.
Or Funguar. It's like a cactuar, but it's fungus.
So, did anybody develop a strategy for these?
Use Lulu Fire.
Burn it with fire is usually...
could you kill it in one hit?
Yes.
Oh.
I forget if I use...
Why the fuck's your Lulu so strong?
I don't know.
Get good.
Yeah, I know. I guess I haven't.
I'm a Lulu simp and I only use her. I don't know.
Jealous.
The Funguar has two major attacks, which is fire and pollen.
And pollen puts you to sleep, right?
Almost everyone. It's thankfully the sleeping doesn't last too long, but
I think it only counters with pollen.
It only counters and only at a certain percentage. Like it doesn't always counter.
So I would just cast darkness on it, so at least couldn't use fire, and then just use fire-based attacks.
You mean silence?
Yes, that's what I meant.
Yeah. Yeah, I really didn't have like any trouble with them, and they usually come in parties with other things.
Right. Well, the thing that annoyed me about it was that I couldn't kill them in one hit with Lulu or Orin or anybody. I could kill them in two, which is fine, but there's always a chance that they're going to counterattack with pollen, and pollen hits your whole party and inflicts sleep on everybody.
Oof.
And silence doesn't stop it. That's what I was like, what the fuck? So I use Waka's silence attack, and then it would still use pollen, and I was like, lame, very lame.
Yeah, that sucks.
And then its damaging move is fire, and magic does not wake up sleeping party members.
That sucks.
Yeah, so you'd have, I'm like, it's minor because you will wake up naturally over time.
Wear a mask.
Wear a mask. But I'm really lazy and just wanted to get through the section very quickly, and I was like, no, I have to sit here for a couple seconds and wait it out.
Yeah, that sucks.
So I was like, ugh. But yeah, I would just take I would just roll the dice. That's all I could really do.
Yeah, maybe I just got lucky. I was also kind of fleeing a lot here as well, just because like, if there's a new like group of enemies that I'm seeing for the first time, I'll like take them down and do that a couple of times. But then after a while, I'm just like, I also like ran back and forth.
Are you using the flee command with Titus?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I am spamming that.
Okay. Are you able to escape without that in this game?
Yes, but I think it's one person at a time. I'm pretty sure. Like, you can go into the menu and hit escape, and then, like, Titus will run away, but people have different evasion or whatever, so...
Okay.
Or you can just use flee and get away.
I like it.
Then what happens?
So we're walking along this road, and this road's pretty cool. It's very, lots of ups and downs, although we are mostly walking on a flat area, I guess. It's almost
what area
like,
of Half-Life is it compared to? Is it kind of like the canyons in near Black Mesa?
Yes.
Or is it like the weird planet at the end of that game?
Zen. I guess it reminds me more of Zen. I'm taking this very seriously. I'm like, it doesn't have the sound alien though that only attacks when you make sound and you have to use your grenades to distract it.
Oh.
Before you fight Not Nearthalotep. What the fuck is the name of the bat?
Sin.
Yeah, that's right. At the end of a Half-Life. Anyway, so yeah, so we're walking along this pathway. It's pretty long, and there are some Crusaders along the way, right?
Yeah.
And one of them, I really like their dialogue. They say, "After the operation, my comrades and I are heading straight to Luca. It's going to be a blast. We've already reserved a place and everything. Do you think Yevon will take us back in if we succeed?" And I was like, I'm sure you will succeed and get back to Luca. I'm sure those reservations will be well used, friend.
That I had the same sort of
Don't
thing.
count your chocobos before they hatch.
I read that and I was just like, oh no.
Yeah, that's like, if you didn't know what's coming after this, literally having like a young person be like, sure can't wait for all the fun things I'll do after this.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, oh.
Gonna smooch my best gal.
Yeah,
Buy her a malt at the malt shop.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
spent all my savings because of all the reward and praise we'll be earning after this.
A nice merchant was able to sell me a beautiful ring for my best gal. It wiped out my savings, but he said it's really rare.
And 3 beans.
He told me that he'll pay me if I paint his fence. Now I'm just thinking about a Waka.
Paint my fence.
I was gonna say a Waka
Those
tells
blintzes were terrible.
tells Grandpa Simpsons that he'll give him corn muffins to paint his chicken coop. Those corn muffins were lousy.
Make me.
Paint my chicken coop.
And Lucille's around. Like,
Lucille's around.
I mean, you're constantly catching up to her, and then she's like dashing off.
It's
just ahead of you.
It's kind of annoying, especially as someone who always wants to read as much dialogue as I
know. You'll talk to her and then she runs off and you're like, no!
And it starts off like a slow kind of prance on her chocobo, so you're like keeping pace with it, and then you're getting close, and then it's like, random battle, a bomb and 2 dual horns or some shit. You're like, fuck. And then you continue running after her, and she just sprints and takes off, and you're like, damn it.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
Could use some help.
I got most of her text at the first one.
We've been expecting you. Please proceed to the command center. The presence of a maester and a summoner is great for the troops' morale, myself included. Thank you for being here, my lady.
She says, depending on the way things turn out, we might suffer casualties. In such an event, we would be grateful if you could perform the sending, my lady. Which is very sad.
Yeah, I know. I was like, ooh.
And then also says, like, we may have to fight here as well. Stay alert.
Yeah.
Yep. So
there's some chests around as well. I don't think there's really too much on this level that like is worth kind of talking about. There's like a remedy and like potions and stuff. There
I only have one thing worth talking about, baby.
Oh yeah. Do you want to
Shalinda.
What's she doing here?
Yeah.
I don't know if I saw her.
Yeah, she's around here.
I did talk to someone who is, the typical like, oh, a summoner, like a summoner's party. Here, take this.
Yeah, a summoner's entourage.
And gives 10 potions.
Yeah.
I was like, yo, fuck yeah.
Yep.
I'll take that. I could have used this in FF1.
Yeah, Shalinda's down here toward the end of the area. She says, in the end, I wasn't able to stop them, as you can see.
Yeah, I do have this.
But seeing their fierce determination, I couldn't just sit there. So I decided I would do everything in my power to help them. Truly, I know nothing of the ways of fighting, but I do know some white magic. I'm hoping that will be of some use to them. And if you talk to her again, she'll actually offer to heal your party.
Yeah, which is really nice.
Yeah, it's great.
Oh, I should have done that.
Yeah, it's really helpful too. Like,
I've been grinding and I realized there's nowhere for me to rest.
Yeah. I did that too.
Wait
I did that too when I was like kind of trying to grind here. I was like, oh, you know what? There's a save point back one screen. I'll go there. And I went back, and the Crusaders that are standing there are just like, we've sealed this off for the operation. No one can get through.
Oh, really?
Like, oh my god. And then like if I just moved like one screen forward, there would have been another save point. And I was like, god damn it.
The save spheres don't heal your party, do they?
They do.
Oh, they do. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, dang.
And the other thing you can do on the Switch version is like swipe over from the right and be like, oh, heal my party to full, either with magic or with items. And I just did heal my party to full with like Yuna, and I was like, cool. And it cost her like a lot of MP or whatever.
Yeah,
and then I found Shalinda, and she's like, here you go, topping off your MP. And I was like, hell yeah.
Topping you off.
Hell yeah.
We also bump into Elma, and she's like, Lady Summoner, what are you doing here? Well, with your guardians near, you shouldn't have anything to worry about. Stuff like that.
We bump into the Chocobo Eater Killer Elma.
Oh yeah.
She says, don't say we shouldn't be using Makida. Not now, please.
Yeah, I know.
I don't want to talk about it.
I know, I love her. I love that she says that.
I think I missed her dialogue because she ran off on her Chocobo, and I was like, fuck it, she's gone. She's gone too far.
She also has a real Senpai Notice Me moment.
Oh, really?
She says after that,
I hope Captain Lucille notices my efforts in this mission.
Aw.
It's very cute.
I like that a lot.
I ship Elma and
I was
Lucille.
gonna say I ship it.
Yeah. Another thing that happened during this, I didn't use it.
Or class
I'm gonna
scoping
fucking
a third wheel.
Yeah. I'm gonna.
They just don't want him there. It's like you're crashing our date.
I know. Yeah, I know.
I like how Elma is like able to one-shot the chocobo eater, and like she's like, "Ooh, I hope that the captain notices me." It's like, how is she not already?
Elma and Louise.
They're both on a chocobo running off the cliff. Where can I make our dreams come true? Doing it my way.
So along the way, I also learned guard for Orin.
Oh yeah.
So he can take physical damage in place of another party member
Nice.
using that.
Nice.
So I have that now.
Classic Final Fantasy move.
Yeah.
Cover.
So I've been trying to keep tabs of like what I'm learning.
Yeah.
So that as we go through the game, I can be like, hey, around this point, you might have this skill or whatever.
Yeah, I went through and went through the sphere grid as well, and got pretty close with some of the characters to like unlock a level 1 sphere, and I'm fully in the like I need to hoard this level 1 sphere.
Yeah.
Like,
Level 1 in key sphere, you mean?
Yeah. Because I'm like, I can get over into like Kamari's from Waka.
Let me tell you.
And I'm like, I don't want to use this because this seems like a precious resource, and I want to plan it out better. And also, there's still some spheres that I need to unlock that I have available to me.
Let me tell you a really crazy thing. This is going to be my, not spoiler, but my tip to the players out there, right? And to you as well. Literally the only key sphere, like there's 4 levels of key sphere, right? There's 1, 2, 3, 4. And I think they're supposed to be in increasing rarity.
Yeah.
But 3s, hoard your 3s.
Okay.
Only use your 3s when you really know what you want. 4s, we can get more 4s. That's fine. End game, when we can go to like Omega Ruins and shit, like we'll get 4s all over the place.
Hell
but
yeah.
3s, where the fuck do you get 3s?
Hell yeah. And do those lock per character, or if you unlock
No,
one,
it's
just in general?
In general.
Oh,
It's
that's
out.
awesome.
Yep.
Man, the sphere grid is really fun.
I know, I like it.
I like it
Have
so
you
much.
noticed that when you learn a sphere, a very small dot appears beside it?
Yeah.
You
You
know
can
it?
see that from if you're controlling another character sphere, you can see
Yeah.
like the progress that other characters have
Yep.
made. But you can still unlock those spheres.
Yes, and
Yeah.
so eventually, if you were to like get everything on the sphere with every character, every sphere would have 6 little dots beside it, or
That's so awesome.
7 for every character in your party.
Spoiler.
Yeah, spoiler, 7 characters.
Sephiroth joins the team.
Yeah.
Sorceress
but only for
Edia?
one fight. Yeah. Sorceress Edia. Yeah. About times
Elma.
you gotta do.
Elma.
Yeah. Elma and Lucille are like one character, like they're both on screen.
We're all
at
running a
once.
really long chocobo.
Anytime,
It's like a tandem chocobo.
anytime you get into a battle with Elma in your party, it just plays the Sephiroth like tension building music, like dun, dun.
Yeah.
Like before it kicks in with just like the gong,
Yeah.
and she just one hits everything.
Yeah.
She may use life too on a party member. If
God
it goes down,
Destroyer
but-
Elma. I'm really enjoying this like head canon about Elma that we're like
she
writing
fucking
as we go
rules,
through
dude.
it. We're just like, oh shit, like the one character who should be
She has
like,
untapped power that she's unappreciated
Yeah, who
for.
needs
Yeah,
fucking
but
Machina? Just let her loose on Sin.
I know. It took all 3 of our party members like
We got thrown over a cliff by
thrown
this
over a
thing.
cliff, yeah, fighting this thing, and she's just like, no, I got this.
Yeah.
Goes out there and fucking rips it.
She's out here living in New Game Plus.
Unless it's her chocobo that actually holds the power.
Could be.
Oh yeah.
He
Either
was
way,
hungry
yeah.
for revenge.
That's in the same vein as like Yuna's power being within her summons, though, so it works.
Yeah, it turns out that like Elma's chocobo is the chocobo from Choco Mog, so like she's a summoner too. She just summons that one.
Hell yeah.
Anyway, so after all that, there's another one of those like levitating stones, and we're led up to the next level of this area, and we're actually kind of like ascending a cliff face now. There's an NPC standing right beside it as soon as we get up there, and he gives us an X potion. So lots of HPs.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's a Crusader, right?
Yes, yeah. These are all Crusaders.
guess so.
We don't see any Albed, I think, until we actually get up to the top. And he continues on to say, the command center is strategically located on this ledge up here overlooking the sea. It's beyond the artillery base up ahead. So I'm very excited to get into the artillery base.
Oh yeah. Yeah, there's a chest here as well that has a serene armlet.
Yeah. I got that in
Is that the upper level? There's a serene armlet.
I can't remember.
There's one on the lower level that you can take a lift down to before we exit the area.
So you have to take the lift up to the second area, and then there's another lift that will take you down to like a little
lower level,
like a single lower level. It doesn't really go anywhere except it has the serene armlet, which is something that Kimahri can equip to give him Dark Ward and Berserk Ward.
Yeah. Seems pretty good.
Yeah.
We haven't seen any enemies that inflict Berserk yet.
I know,
so,
yeah.
Maybe that's coming. Maybe that's useful. I saw that and I was like, I'm not going to equip this right now.
Yeah.
That's one of the things where it's like you get a game over on a boss and then you're like, oh, I have something for this.
Did you find the Albed primer?
I did. I saw it, but I didn't make my way over to it, and then I went too far.
Volume 10, X.
Oh.
Ooh.
I think it was
the titular
Z equals J or something like that.
Hell yeah.
I forget what it is. Doesn't really matter.
ZJ, that's Disc Jockeys of the Future.
ZJ. What's a ZJ? If you don't know, you can't afford it.
Gross.
Yeah. Yeah, so there's a couple like little overhangs and ledges and stuff. And we're kind of like making our way downtown, walking fast in our homebound. But
Back in black.
yeah. So we're walking around. There's a couple more NPCs. They give us some more items. Just kind of telling us what's going on. We're kind of setting the stage, right? One says, "Oh, the men are preparing for the worst." There's another one of those stone lifts. We take that up, and then there's like a sick fucking machine lift up here on this level that like looks tight as shit.
It's Machina, baby.
That's Machina, baby. That's the tagline of the podcast this season. Whenever we have guests on, if there's like any interference or whatever, like there's a delay, we'll just be like, well, you know what they say. That's Machina, baby.
When I put my phone too close to my cloud lifter and it starts making the noise.
That's angry Evan. Angry.
It's not working now. Yevon is pleased.
There's a Crusader up here who says, "We've secured the command center perimeter, but please take this as precaution," and gives us a mega potion.
Hell yeah.
Mega potions are what is up. And they say, this is a mechanical lift built by the Albed.
I don't know what this is for.
But it's a mechanical lift built by the Albed. Please take it up to the command center. And there's a save point right here. And just beyond the save point are Luzu and Gata, and they look like they're arguing. And
we'll just ignore them.
There is nothing, like, I don't know if I've told you all this before, but like, I cannot fucking be in the same room as like Hell's Kitchen because it fucking stresses me the fuck out. Like, I cannot deal with it. And like, I get it, he has good intentions or whatever, or like Kitchen Nightmares or shit like that, Gordon Ramsay, right? But like, man, there's no need for a lot of yelling. It just freaks me the fuck out. And along those lines, I'm gonna need a little nap. I'm gonna need a little chill time if we're gonna go talk to Luzu and Gata.
Play around a blitzball.
It's like Gata's got like 2 pieces of toast
I was gonna say.
around Luzu's head. What are you? An idiot sandwich.
I was gonna say the same thing.
All right, so let's go to break.
Cool.
Break.
Are we recording?
We're recording. They missed all the important talk.
Yeah,
so we're
we
back
just
from
took
an hour and a half of just like the most
grim speak.
Oh my god, real fucking doomer shit.
Nice.
Yeah.
Big stew energy.
We were all eating stew.
The stew wave is coming.
I went through my entire house to make sure that there was not a single fucking bracelet that I could wear. I cooked us up all a stew.
We got stew pilled. We're just like real angry. All right.
We're at a scene now with Luzu and Gata, and it's an important one. I want to bring this up because I don't want to bring this up after this because I feel like this is kind of a heavy scene or it gets heavy or whatever. But I'm looking at Gata, and I'm looking at his character model, and it looks like he's wearing like a leather lower a leather piece of armor, I guess, that is very similarly colored to his skin tone.
Yeah.
So
like Riku.
Yeah.
Where it's like, is this their skin or their...
Yeah, but it's like almost like underwear. So it looks like he's just wearing completely assless chaps.
I can see it. I have a picture of it up right now. It does.
And then there's like a shot from like behind him, and I'm just like,
yeah,
oh, you're right.
Yeah.
Yep.
He's got no ass crack.
Oh, okay, good old assless chaps.
Why are they making the same color as his skin?
I don't know.
They could have picked any color.
There's so many of them. How do we?
He still has his like World of Warcraft shoulders.
Yeah.
Or Warhammers.
Yeah.
Is it 255 cubed? Would that be how many colors?
Typical display.
Because you have 255.
I stopped counting after 16.
Is that 64-bit like color?
Well, yeah, because you have RGB. You have 255 selections for each one to pick a color on a computer.
I'm not like Waka. I don't see color. That's a bad joke.
No, that was a very good bad joke. Anyway, so oh, good. All right, so Gata and Luzu are arguing, and only one of them is wearing covering over their butt crack.
He lost his butt crack in a sin incident.
A sin-cident?
A sin-cident.
He just outgrew those pants.
Next episode title, Sin-cident. Anyway, God is yelling at Luza, and he says,
"Why only you, sir? I want to fight too."
Orders are orders.
I'm not a cadet anymore, sir. Let me go with you and I'll prove it to them.
So, like, clearly he's not being allowed to go actually into the battle
into the
Sin.
fight. Yeah. And Luzu like puts his arm on his shoulder and he says, "Guarding the command center is important too, you know." And Gata goes on and he says, "But I came all the way from Besed to fight Sin, sir." And Luzu says, "I know, but an order's an order. To your post, Crusader." And then I think he like gives him like a salute kind of thing.
Yeah, and then Gata, like, he's just, you can see his face, he's furious. He's like, "But sir," and he kind of runs away.
He's also got a cool ass scar.
He does have a cool ass scar on his face.
Which I don't know if that's a new thing or if like we just haven't noticed.
I don't think we've got any close-ups of Gata's face ever.
Certainly not of his outfit.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I would have noticed that sooner.
But yeah, so they're not gonna let Gata fight in the fight. They're just gonna have him guard the command center or whatever. And Gata's like real upset about it. He's come all this way to like have glorious battle.
Yeah.
And is being denied the opportunity.
Yep.
Right. Which, like, yeah, he's a young guy. He's a kid. You don't want him fucking getting killed on.
I want to be the guy.
He's a greenhorn. A Solid Snake would put it.
I feel like this whole episode, Titus has gone by without being questionable. Like, Titus has been on good behavior for the most part.
Yeah.
This whole episode. And, like, man, if he doesn't fucking... all this, I have to disagree with him again. So Party walks up to the Luzu, and Luzu's like, "Oh, they let you through, huh?" And Titus goes,
"Gata deserves better."
Like, what the fuck do you want him to do? You want him to go out and fucking die on the beach?
Yeah, dude. Like, also, like, Titus's only frame of reference for this probably... I know he's been fighting a lot recently or whatever. You know he's looking at this in terms of blitzball. It's like, you can't just put him on the bench.
You can't bench him, yeah.
It's the big game.
It's like this little young kid or whatever.
Yeah,
who's
dude.
Like, and he's like, no, you should have let him go out there and go to fucking war. Titus, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, you fucking idiot.
I'm sorry. I don't know. Like, there could be a different way to read that. Like, maybe somebody, like, interprets that differently. I mean,
no, I
understand why he's saying what he's saying, but he's wrong.
Yeah.
Fucking asshole. Anyway.
No way. You're just a kid.
Yeah. Waka says, "At least there's no chance he'll get hurt. Why are you guys fighting anyway? Aren't the almighty Albed Machina enough?"
Okay. Pretty good burn, though.
Pretty good. That's pretty good.
I don't like the sentiment of it.
No, no.
Good delivery.
Yeah.
Gizmos.
And Luzu says, "They still need some time to get them ready. Our job is to keep Sin at bay until they're done." Which, like, I don't know what they're gonna do.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
And throw blitz balls at it.
That's Waka's plan.
Yeah,
anytime we fought Sin.
Did we destroy like a valuable weapon on that boat?
The blitz ball. Did we? So now that I think about it, like, did we ever? Oh my God, the obliterator is what we should have used to fight Sin. That's genius, Alex.
Oh my God.
If
dude.
Alex was in Spira, this would not be an issue. He'd be like, "Wait, guys."
He's like, "Wait."
There's like, "Hey, don't worry, our secret weapon's on the way. It's called the obliterator." I'm like, "Ooh."
Seinfeld, like.
And you remember, like, when like Waka would throw it, it would like bounce off and like return directly to Waka. We literally set the obliterator up so that, like, after the balls bounce, they just refeed it right back into the top of it.
Or go to Waka and it's just like the humin obliterator.
Why aren't the Aurochs here to help?
Yeah, where are the Aurochs at? That's who we need fighting Sin. We're about to win 2 games.
Ball v ball.
there's an incredible animation here with Waka where after Luzu like says all that, like he's just pouting. Like
he is.
Like,
he's pouting.
We've said this before about like people in this game acting like toddlers, but like this is the most toddler shit I've ever seen.
I know.
He's
out
like
of anybody
throwing
yet.
his arms down and like flailing around a little bit. It's so stupid. It's good.
Yeah. And I was not ready for what happens next though. Oh my gosh. Luzu says, Waka, I may not get another chance to say this. It's about your brother.
And Lulu goes, Luzu, no.
And as soon and like if
tries
there
to
was
stop
any
him.
plausible deniability, like Lulu going, Luzu, no, like, oh well now there is something going on. And
Yeah,
now you have to say
tell
it.
him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he Luzu says,
I'm the one who convinced him to enlist. I'm sorry.
and Waka's just looking at him.
And you get a real good close up of Waka's face too.
Yeah. And then
where like Waka's like taking in like
this new information that
Luzu
like,
is the reason why Chapu is dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Waka just like reels back and fucking clocks him.
Oh, dude,
as hard as he fucking
decks
can.
him, sends Luzu to the floor.
In the face, yeah. Luzu is on the ground, and
he's
goes,
like, he goes for another one.
He's squaring up again, and Lulu grabs him and stops him.
Titus.
Or yeah. Titus stops him.
And like Titus is screaming. He's like, Waka, that's enough, Waka.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's
dude, and
real
Waka
intense.
looks so pissed.
Dude, they did really good with it. Like,
this is really good.
Obviously, we're playing the remaster, but the facial animations on Waka here are fucking fantastic. Like, they did a really good job with how fucking pissed he is right now.
Yeah, and then Waka's just like standing over Luzu, who is still on the ground, and he said, when we used to play Blitz together, Chapu used to say, he'd say that when we won the cup, yeah, he'd propose to Lulu. And then, like, the camera kind of goes back and we see, like, Luzu or Lulu. God, there's too many fucking names that sound like Waka, Owaka, Luzu,
Come on,
Lulu,
pretty mama.
Yuta. Like, good God. And, yeah.
Luzu and Lulu and Waka and Aka. And Titus Kamari's here, too. Sorry, go.
Kamari's here, too.
No, he's not. Where is he?
And back to this very, powerful scene. Waka says, and then one day he goes off and becomes a crusader, just like that. And Luzu, Luzu has a good line here. You want to take that?
Yeah, he says, Chapu also said to me, this is kind of stupid.
No, this is very stupid.
It's very stupid. Anyway, he says that being with your girl is good, but keeping sin far away from her is better. Like, all right. It's not the fucking, like, huge wisdom I thought he was going to drop, but, like, fair enough. I see what he was saying.
I can see where they're coming from. It's
absolutely.
He's, like, he was doing this
for love,
Lulu.
not glory.
Yeah.
Exactly, yeah.
And Waka says, Lu, you knew? And Lulu says, Luzu told me before we left. And then Luzu's like, yeah, she hit me too.
Dude, I
so I guess that nobody
Lulu
knew.
So much. Yeah.
Like, no one ever knew why Chapu went from being a fucking blitzer to a crusader. And it's because Luzu convinced him to do it. Yeah. And, like, thus far, like, Luzu's been, like, 10 out of 10 fucking the person I'd want to hang out with. And, like,
he definitely
even still, I guess he has a noble rationale
it's
for
at least a noble cause, but it's still,
At least it's not Western imperialism.
Is this the first time we heard about Lulu and Chapu being a unit?
Yeah, so they were a thing.
Another info dump, yeah.
Which, like, if I can hit the rewind button, we're back in the Blitzball Stadium.
Yeah.
And Titus says to Luca, I'm sure the Waka would never try to take Chapu's place. You fucking moron. Like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Ooh.
That's exactly where my brain went to. I was like, oh boy, Titus.
Boy.
Well, also my brain was like, I don't know. I guess again, like I'm not really sure how old Chapu is.
Yeah.
Because my brain was like, it's probably like, I don't know, like
a little scamp.
A little scamp. But every time you say little brother, I was thinking like maybe 12 or 13-year-old.
Oh yeah. Nobody look it up. How old is Lulu? I'm gonna look it up.
I'm guessing because it's anime rules, she's probably 10 years younger than she looks.
Yeah, I was gonna say like 24 or something because of anime rules.
Yo, I'm gonna guess 18.
Yeah, same.
Okay.
I think most of the women tend to be.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, although she has kind of a more maternal kind of vibe, but she has to be like, I don't know. I mean, she could be seeing an older guy. I mean, she has to be. Chapu has to be between her age and.
I feel like.
What did you say, Carl?
24.
I said 18-ish.
22.
Okay, nice medium there.
So yeah, I'm guessing Chapu is obviously probably between Lulu and Waka's age. If we're to believe.
Yeah,
because usually in fiction.
How old is Waka? We answered this at one point.
I
He's-
want for
I'm
some
guessing
reason I
like
want to
30.
say 33, but I feel like
Well,
that's
that's Oron's age.
Yeah, he's not older than Sid Highwind. Like, he's 26. I'm gonna say that. Hold on, let's see.
26, 28.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
say
he's probably 28.
He's only 23.
Maybe Chappu is just kind of a.
No, he's 34.
Lulu.
Wait, what?
Waka Flocka Flame is 34 years old. What were you guys talking about? I'm right. Also,
Why are you
wait, I
mad
was
at me?
wrong.
I'm
Didn't I say
right.
33?
Maybe like Chappu is like only a year younger.
Yeah, it could be
Yeah,
like
yeah. I mean, like 20.
a lot of
times.
They could be twins for all we know.
Well, yeah.
Just
Well, I mean,
by like a minute.
well, a lot of like people will have a kid and then like immediately have another kid for that.
Yeah,
When you have a
Irish
sibling.
twins.
His family probably didn't believe in birth control because of Machina reasons.
Get that Albed IUD away from me.
God, this game just keeps on giving. So, in the middle of this very
Powerful, important
powerful
scene that I don't know why I thought we were gonna give it like the gravity that it deserves.
I would never. And neither does Lucille, because Lucille comes in on her chocobo.
Quit slacking, you two.
Yeah, right. All Crusaders in the Vanguard are to assemble on the beach. And Luzu says, that's my cue.
Got a ditch.
Yeah. Waka says, Luzu, don't die out there. And he says, so you can hit me more? And he says, lots and lots more. So it looks like they've got their aggression out between each other.
Yeah.
Waka's willing to look over it.
Yeah.
Right. 'Cause,
Again,
like,
being a very good guy. Like if we could just
work on the fucking racism.
we can fix him.
Yeah.
We can fix him.
radicalize Waka.
we can radicalize Waka.
Also, he slaps his elbow. I think.
Yeah,
He's like gonna throw bows at Luzu.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And then this is kind of an odd scene. I don't know how to flow with this one.
Yeah.
It's a little bit weird. Yuna steps in front of Luzu and says, Sir Luzu, please don't go. And he says, I have to, Yuna. And I like Orange just says, let him go. The man has already chosen his path, as you did when you became a summoner.
Yeah.
And I don't understand why Yuna really tried to stop him. I understand that she's like, no, I like Luzu. I don't want Luzu to get killed by Sen and whatever. But she of all people,
yeah,
would know and has been good about this entire time, understanding that people have a larger calling and are putting themselves in danger for a serious thing.
What I gathered from this, especially with the next line that we hear, is that this is something that is going to make more sense later, I guess. There might be a plot thing that happens that it's oh, that's why that happened.
I don't trust anything Titus says in narration to actually have any fucking bearing on anything.
That's fair, but Titus does say...
I was so cool, you had to be there.
He says...
It would be a long time before I ever really understood the reason why Yuna let Luzu pass that day.
Because she could not stop him.
Yeah, which is another weird thing too, because it's
because Oren told him.
I don't understand.
Oren's the reason.
I don't understand why she's standing in front of him to begin with.
Yeah, right.
So, but the whole it was a
going
long
on?
time before I realized. I'm okay, so we'll probably learn.
Get Corey on
in
the
the
phone.
same way. Oh wait,
he's watching it. He's playing along or watching along in Japanese. So I'm curious what the
Oh yeah, we gotta have him on an episode soon.
Or if it's translation error.
But now we can take that sick Machina elevator up.
Waka is stubborn and decides to climb.
I was just gonna say that in the same way of it would be a long time before we figured this out. There's other shit in this area that we can't access right now, which if you're trying to get everything and you see
I'm sorry.
On the mini map you can actually see a save point on one of the spots here that's underneath
this is in the
where
first
we are.
screen,
yeah. And then there's other parts where you can see a treasure chest. And this is actually why I missed the Albed primer, because I was like, oh, I'm going to be looping around and going under and getting that chest and hitting that save point and stuff. So it probably loops up to that Albed primer that I can see from this screen, but it's across the way.
Right, yes.
But instead, that's no, we just have to come back for that later.
Yeah, there is just an area you just can't get to here.
Yeah.
We'll have to get later. But we take the elevator up, and we're introduced to a little cutscene where there are basically these big cannons, right? That are probably shoulder height if you're
6'4", like everyone on this podcast is.
Yeah. Like everyone on the
Wait, that doesn't work.
If you're
Alex
6'4"
is actually
and jacked
tall.
like everybody on the podcast.
Alex is actually tall. So.
Yeah, for Alex, he was like, that's actually shorter than I am.
I really
They look like little stock cars with the wheels removed. More or less.
Yeah.
And Walker runs up to one, or not runs up, he walks up to one very
cool as can be.
Yeah. And he goes,
Curses.
kicks it and fucking injures his foot. And he's like, ow, ow, ow.
He says, curse these.
Yeah.
He's wearing sandals.
Yeah, he wears sandals and he kicks it.
Also, here's a pro tip from someone who has kicked stuff before, like a heavy bag. You don't want to hit shit directly with your foot.
Yeah.
There's a lot of fucking nerve endings and a lot of very like fragile bones in your foot. You don't want to fucking throw that around like that.
That's why there's not much kicking in Blitzball.
Yeah, it's sandals. Sandals is the uniform.
Titus is like, he really hates them, huh?
Yeah, he's talking to Lulu. And Lulu says,
Chapu, he left the sword Waka gave him in Besaid, and he fought with an Albed Machina weapon instead.
and so like, okay, that's,
starting to put it together.
Yeah, so it's not just fanatical devotion to Yevon that has Waka all fucking pissed off at like the Albed and Machina. He blames them for Chapu's death, and he's kind of like, oh, well, if he would have brought the sword that I gave him, then he wouldn't be dead.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
which like. Faulty logic, but I can see why he feels the way he feels.
Yeah, it's like, especially if you're grieving, like you don't really, it doesn't have to make logical sense, but if it makes sense in your head while you're grieving, you're like, no, I mean, it absolutely would have been fine if he had my sword.
Waka actually says...
If only he prayed to Yevon.
Which Waka actually says, that's got nothing to do with it. I just hate these sacrilegious contraptions. I
love that.
I love that sacrilegious...
These damn doodads and gizmos.
That's exactly what it sounds like, yeah. Heavens to Betsy.
Yevon.
Yevons to Betsy.
Sorry, I was trying to read this Albed thing, which I don't have translated, obviously. And it says,
sorry, go ahead.
It says, I fim bad uha du fish sin oof. So I can only imagine that this guy is trying to suck Sin off.
He says, I will be the one to finish Sin off.
I was correct.
Yeah. Sin is going to finish.
Oh, he says other things too.
He does. He says, and again, these are all in Albed, but he says, we will use the ancient Machina to destroy Sin. The Yevon fools will soon witness the power of the Albed.
Okay, so that's not great. That's not a great
That
thing
last
to
one's
say.
not great, yeah. Which I get. He has faith in the Machina.
Yeah.
And, like, we've been calling the Yevonites fools ourselves the whole time. So, like...
Yeah, but when we do it, it's cool and not problematic.
It's cute. You're not supposed to tell the child. You tell Bart all the time. You told him this morning.
Is this more like... I don't know why. The Albed kind of give me more of, like, a Soviet-Russian vibe instead of, like... Because, I mean, partially kind of like how their voice sounds. Their language,
the way
but
the
also like the
language
Soviet technology. Like, there's all some sort of Cold War thing.
They make really good fuzz pedals.
But they none of them sound the same because they're all like salvaged transistors from old equipment and they're in the war.
They invented kettlebells, the ultimate way to work out.
And squats.
Well, like, I think it has a lot to do with like the way the language comes together for me, because I thought that as well, that it has a very like Slavic sound to it.
Yeah.
Maybe Waka is just kind of an anti-communist. He's got that red scare going on.
Yeah.
Either way, he doesn't get. That's still negative.
That'll
points.
win points for us.
Yeah, right.
Maybe he's not racist. Maybe
read the room, Waka. Another person kind of explains how this operation is going to go down. That the Crusaders are going to lure Sin to the beach, and then the Albed are going to shoot the cannons at it and try to take it out that way. I like the person who's telling us that. They say, after we talked to them a couple times, about the cannon, we just fired a test shot, and this puppy roars.
I read that, and I was like, I bet Curtis is going to bring that line up, because that's such a good line.
I'm never not going to bring up the word puppy.
So maybe that Blitzball was also part of the
operation.
operation.
What I was thinking.
Titus just goes up, and he's like, oh, there's a puppy in there.
You really kicked that puppy. You really socked. What did that kid say last episode?
Yeah. You're like, you sure socked that puppy.
Sock him one good.
I like that he says Sin's going to be a huge target. We probably won't even have to aim. This is pretty cool.
Also very scary.
Yeah. And then we see a scene of them unloading that Sin spawn that Luzu and Gata have been bringing.
Yeah.
And it's gross. It looks like a sausage beetle. I don't think there's a beetle called the sausage beetle. I just mean like...
I think there should be.
Yeah. It looks like a... What's the kind of sausage that you get like for breakfast at a diner at Denny's?
The banger.
Bob Banger.
Is that a banger?
No.
What is bangers?
It's another type of sausage, yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
But yeah, it's a little sausage grub.
Little sausage grub.
Yeah.
And they put it in a cage with the scariest thing I've ever seen, but we only get to see a little bit of it.
So is it food for the other fiend?
That's what I took for it.
Man, I don't fucking know.
Or are they all just canoodling in there?
I don't know. They apparently they have a big cage that has a big old sin thing.
It looks like a big old gazebo, but it's just like a cage.
Yeah. And yeah, they force the little grub thing into it, and then there's some ruckus that happens. So I'm guessing it's getting eaten.
Yeah, and the camera's kind of shaking a little, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. And like Yuna and Waka are kind of looking on at this, and Waka just goes, "Yeah, it won't work anyway."
Yeah.
And she says, "Don't say that. It might be a hopeless campaign, and it may even defy Yevon. But the Crusaders and the Al Bhed, they're doing their best to defeat sin. They want to rid Spira of sin forever, and that's just what we want too, isn't it?" And she turns to Waka and says, "Isn't it?" And he goes,
All right. But I still think Machina are bad news. They're forbidden for a reason.
"What is the reason, Waka? You fool."
Yeah, what is the reason?
But yeah, Lucille.
Up until
5G.
this point, 5G.
5G.
Up until, because this is such an interesting, like, moral dilemma here. I mean, we already talked about it, like, probably way too much with, like, the whole Seymour thing. But just like, oh, well, we can't use the Machina. And as far as I know from what we've heard from Waka, Machina attracts sin. So that's why they're like, oh, well, we used Machina and sin is the retribution of, you know, whatever, for using the Machina. And it's like, yeah, so wait, why would it be bad to use the Machina against sin if it's going to be here anyway?
Oh,
like,
yeah, good one, yeah.
Like, I don't know. This is...
I could see, here's the thing, like, I can see from Waka's point of view that he's kind of like, until everybody starts wearing their mask, coronavirus isn't going away.
Yeah. Exactly. And that's the other thing where it's like, he's sympathetic in this moment. More so than, like, obviously, I think, like, as players, we're like, no, well, we have to defeat sin. It's the big bad thing. Like, Machina's forbidden. Like, we're just taking everything at face value.
We gotta kill Dad.
We don't know anything else. Like, we don't have all the information that we need, so we can only... Are you winning, son? Yeah, so a lot of moral ambiguities here, I feel like. Because it's like, we don't really know. Like, we can... Waka's wrong for being racist to the Al Bhed.
Right.
But we don't know, like, the Machina stuff. But, like, my whole thing is like, well, yeah, if he's going to be attracted by Machina and he's going to be here for a battle, might as well use the fucking Machina.
Yeah, right.
Wait, I thought, are they attracted to the Machina or the...
The Sin Spawns.
The Sin Spawn are what are going to attract Sin here.
Right.
In the first place. But
and Waka
Machina is, like, the reason, according to Waka, why Sin attacks. But it's like, if fucking Sin's attacking anyway, just fucking throw everything you can at it.
I don't think that they're implying that the Machina are going to attract Sin, only that Sin is the retribution for the use of the Machina. But the Sin Spawn itself will attract.
So is the name Machina a double meaning on Deus Ex Machina?
It could be. I mean, machines and Machina, Deus Ex Machina, very well could be.
The existence of Machina implies the existence of Machinaga.
And just Machine, I guess, is the first
Machine,
one. Yeah. So Lucille rides up. Lady Summoner, there you are. The command center is that way.
Did the Chocobo take the elevator too? I guess so.
Hell yeah.
Maybe. Yeah.
It's a big
lift.
It was a big lift. Yeah.
She says, Maester Keenock is also there. And Eunice says, Maester Keenock too? And she says, yes, please hurry, my lady. And then we're allowed to walk on. And we're not meeting him right now, but I just want to fucking preface, I don't like Maester Keenock, and we're going to get to him very shortly.
Yeah.
There's a lot of other people we can talk to, though.
He gets a big...
A big Marge Simpson groan.
He gets a big Marge Simpson groan from me. Anyway, so we're kind of like on a little plateau now. Although, is it a plateau? There is still a cliffside on one side. But basically, we can overlook a good portion of the ocean. We're much higher up than we were when we first came into Mushroom Rock Road. I would say we're at like the best vantage point to see the beach and the ocean now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're high up. It's still on the cliffside, but there's like a base built into it. And the base isn't like a fortress or anything. It's like cloth walls.
Yeah.
It's just an encampment.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Like Revolutionary War ass looking.
Yeah, right. And there's people like training outside. There's some people like sword fighting. There's a little kid and a dude sword fighting together.
This is dark.
It's dark. Do you have the text up?
I do.
Okay,
yeah,
I'll let you take it because I don't have it up on my screen.
Yeah,
right
like
now.
it's obviously a little kid, and then like their parent or guardian or whatever, and they're sword fighting with like real swords, which you're like, okay, well, whatever. And then when you like actually read the dialogue, it's, come on, swing like a man. Do you want to avenge your sister or don't you? Oof. And then the little kid says, I'm going to beat sin. I'm going to beat it. I'm going to beat it no matter what. And then the larger person, that is to say the adult, says, okay, come on now. Pretend I'm a fiend. And then a fiend. And then the kid says, die, die, die.
Yeah.
And it's like, I get like,
it's dark. That's dark. Especially when he's like, you do want to avenge your
it's like
sister, don't you?
Sure, Gata feels real.
Yeah.
Seeing this kid,
this
like,
little
he gets
kid
a
going,
fight.
Yeah, right. But yeah, like, are they actually gonna let this fucking little kid run out on the fucking battlefield to fight Sin?
Maybe it's not a little kid. Maybe it's like that like one soldier who looked like a little kid that was deployed in like Portland or whatever. And everyone's like, they're using children soldiers.
His mother is one of those little beaky thing.
Yeah. He's not a child at all. He's a full man.
He's a short king.
Are we to believe that Sin is aquatic?
I always got vibes of it like being designed to look like a whale, so I kind of always thought of it as like an aquatic thing.
How they gonna fight it with swords?
That's a good question. Like that's the other thing too, is it's like
the cannons make sense.
The cannons absolutely make sense.
Like instead of training them to sword fight, you really should be training them to load and fire.
They should really be just giving the Aurochs swords. They're very aquatic people.
Yeah.
Oh, yo, could you imagine?
Although, maybe this kid's a blitzer.
Knowing them, like Dotto would cut his own leg off accidentally.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd probably be a mess. We should give the goers swords.
How dare you? Get out of my house.
Hey, look, you know what? At a certain point.
Hey, look. I'm just
I'm
just a fan of the game, okay? I don't look at teams. I'm just a fan of the game.
We can give it to the Albed Sykes or the Ron Severs.
The Fangs.
The Fangs, thank you. The Guado
Glories.
Glories.
Go Birds.
Yeah, so I like that there's another I guess this person's not explicitly a Chocobo Knight, but they're standing next to a Chocobo, which is an NPC, and they say, yeah, what do you want to know? And we have some options here we can ask them about.
I think I missed this.
Oh, yeah, it's right by the tent entrance or whatever.
You can ask them about the cannons, about the Chocobo Knights, or about this operation. If you say about the cannons, they say, the Albed provided us with these cannons at no charge, so they're better than Owaka. Don't get me wrong. Oh, my God. He says, don't get me wrong.
Oh, no.
No, I'm no Albed lover.
Oh, no, dude. No.
I think in the original game it was worse. Because I'm looking at the script right now, and it says, I hate the bastards, but I've got a little respect for them now.
Both are bad.
Both are bad because...
I'll ask Darmok what it said in her game.
We may be the 50th most popular video game podcast in Argentina. But
as of this recording,
for all of our international listeners, this may be a purely American thing, but literally the fucking phrase "I'm no something lover" or
real bad.
I'm not a racist, but
that has a certain weight to Americans.
Mm-hmm.
Like a certain very serious, real weight to Americans and American history in a way that I don't know that it does in other countries.
Yeah.
It like, and what were the words in yours, Alex? I'm sorry.
I hate the bastards.
I hate the bastards. So like
that to me feels less harsh.
That's less harsh. The one that I read
because at least he's owning it.
Well, the one that I'm saying, I mean, like the one I'm saying, in literally the way that like you can Google those words with one change and find lots of examples of real fucking life people saying those words in America about a certain thing about our history.
Yeah.
This is very not good.
Mm-hmm. It's bad.
I digress. And he does say, but I've got a little respect for them now. The cannons have good range. We'll give Sin a shower it won't soon forget. Then you can ask him about the Chocobo Knights.
A shower.
So you're gonna pee on him.
we're gonna tell Sin to hit the showers.
Only a select few can become Chocobo Knights. You have to be a skilled rider or achieve some combat merit to become one. Captain Lucille is no doubt the best of the bunch now. Is she more powerful than Elma?
Holy shit. Well, I guess that would make sense.
Elma one-hit fucking Chocobo Eater. I don't think they told us that she killed the Chocobo Eater in one hit, but like...
Oh, that's our headcanon.
That's our headcanon, is that Elma like stared down the Chocobo Eater and one slice just cut him in half. Cut him in twain, you might say.
So Lucille definitely just like looked at the Chocobo Eater and it would just turn around and dive into the ocean.
Yeah. Oh, scary. He says, I don't know how that wimp Clasco got knighted. Well, I guess he's at least at least he's good at earning their trust. ... The Chocobos, that is. I like Glasgow.
Sweet, sensitive Glasgow.
I know. I feel like, what do we always say? Like, oh, we imagine ourselves an Oron, but we're actually a Titus.
Yeah.
It's like I'm actually a Glasgow.
Yeah.
If you ask him about the operation, he says, we've researched Sin's past behavior in planning this operation. Sin often turns up where its Sin spawn are. So we hunted down the Sin spawn at various places and brought them here to lure it. When it shows up, we're going to hit it with the Ancient Machina, and it's bye-bye Sin. The Crusaders' responsibility is to lure Sin and immobilize it. The Al Bhed will deliver the finishing blow. I wish it could be the other way around, but as long as we defeat Sin, who cares? That's the conversations you can have with him.
Yeah.
And then guess who is standing just north of the encampment.
For the listener, Curtis pointed alternatingly to Alex and myself while
it's
saying
very
that.
slow because he's holding a switch with one hand.
Is it a Waka?
It's a Waka.
He's a sneaky
he's
boy.
He's a real motherfucker.
And what does he say?
I was gonna say, like, I hope everyone liked when we were shitting on Awaka earlier in this episode, because it's gonna get so much worse right now. Because he says, Monopoly's a great thing.
You son of a bitch.
Things are selling no matter what the price.
You son of a bitch.
He says, oops, sorry, I forgot. And then he, like, shows you what he's offering.
What are you buying?
What are you buying?
You bastard.
What a fucker.
You fucker.
What an asshole.
You fucking Elon Musk piece of shit.
Literal disaster capitalism.
I go with an asshole. I hate Awaka so much.
Oh my god, dude.
Ah! All right, well, that's Awaka. Now, you told me that Machen is the same voice?
Yes.
I hate that. Obviously, like, voice actors are not the characters that they play.
No, don't get me wrong. The voice acting of Awaka is very good.
No, yeah,
it's
Machen's
very
voice
fitting.
is great.
Oh,
every time I listen to accidentally play one of those clips, it's like, oh, well, but
dude, he's got like such like he has mouth sounds. Oh my god, dude, Machen ASMR. He'd be fantastic at it.
Make it happen.
Make it happen, Alex. We got a YouTube channel now.
Awaka does have some good shit here, though.
Does he?
Yeah, he's got the Avenger.
Oh yeah, that's counterattack.
Yeah, he's got the TKO, which has Stone Touch, which I think it's it's a Waka ball, which I guess will hit an enemy and turn them to stone.
Yes.
And
actually, that can be very handy coming up.
Yeah, and Sentry, which is one of Auron's weapons.
I could not afford Sentry.
I could not afford any of this shit.
Okay.
I mistakenly
because I gave all my money to Waka.
Yeah.
I just bought some like potions and shit because I spent so much time grinding in the area before without really thinking about taking care of myself.
Yeah.
I kept all the monies this time.
Yeah, I think it's definitely worth picking up these items though. They seem pretty handy.
Yeah. So Gata's guarding the entrance to the encampment, right?
Yeah.
He's real excited about it.
He looks so bummed.
I think even like the way he like presents this line is really good. He says, "Please check all your equipment.
The operation will begin shortly."
Yeah.
And Waka says, "Are you all right?" And he's like, "Of course not. I came here to fight Sin, but they stick me here." Auron says, "If you want to prove yourself, first you must complete the tasks you are given." Which, that is good advice.
And then
for whatever reason, I thought he was going to be like, if you want to prove yourself, go out to the fucking beach. But I remembered it wrong. Of course he doesn't say that. He's Auron. He's good.
Yeah, and Gata kind of like looks down all sheepishly and stuff. And then you can talk to Gata, and he says, just doing what they say, it just won't be enough. And then as Titus, you have two options that you can reply with. Either, yeah, you should go be on the front lines, or guarding the command center is important too.
What did you say?
I said guarding the command center is important too because I'm not a fucking monster.
Same thing.
Okay, so I suspected that y'all would say that.
No.
Yes!
You monster!
Yes! So I said, yeah, you should be out on the front lines.
Oh no.
And he said, oh, that's right, it's not fair. I'll do something, even if it means bending the rules.
Okay, so I think he says that no matter what. But if you say no, like don't do that, you fucking asshole, just like stick to your post. He says you'd think the same if you were me.
So, we'll see what becomes of that later.
Yeah.
If anything.
Probably nothing. It's probably fine.
It's probably fine.
Everything's good.
Yeah.
We're gonna beat Sin today, and then the game's over. It's good.
You know what's funny is like, you know how like rock paper scissors works, where like you have to not only think what your opponent is going to do, but what does your opponent think that you are going to do?
Yeah.
Right. And so you have to like think like in these multiple levels. So every time we have an option, instead of just getting in the Discord and me being like, "Hey guys, what did you say for this?" to make sure that we all had something, I sit here and I go, "What are Alex and Carl going to pick in this dialogue box?" But wait. What do they think that I'm going to pick in the dialogue box? Because maybe they imagine that I'll do the
prisoner scenario.
Yeah. So I'm always like trying to think like multiple levels ahead. When again, we could just like message each other in the Discord and be like, "Hey, what do we all want to do?"
Good old Rock. Nothing beats that.
I had to ask you how do you fucking use Lulu's overdrive. It's like, hey, I've been in this area.
Hey, we've never mentioned Lulu's Overdrive. Let's go ahead and do it right now.
I've had it the last 2 episodes, I'm pretty sure, and I have not used it a single time.
Okay.
At least I've never figured it out yet.
We have not talked about Lulu's Overdrive, and since we just brought it up, let's just go ahead and do it. If Lulu goes into Overdrive, she has an option to use one of her magic spells.
Is it called Rage or something like that?
Fury.
Hell yeah.
She can use one of the spells that she's learned. And it's black magic that includes the non-elemental black magics as well, like bio and things that we'll get later. And she's going to cast multiple of it in succession.
Hell yeah.
Like up to 12 times, I think is what it said.
Dude, I cannot get it above like 6. But yeah. I think it depends on your stats, how many times you can do it. But so once you've selected it and you've selected the spell, you can't aim it. She's just going to cast it at the enemies at whatever random order that she feels like. But a bar will appear similar to Titus's, where we have to like, stop in the middle. But for hers, we're filling that bar up by quickly rotating the right joystick.
Yeah.
Any direction in particular?
I think you can do it in any direction.
It feels kind of lewd. You're just twirling a nipple in a circular motion. Fully coolly, if you will.
Nipple and dime us around, huh? Yeah, I use my palm. I just throw my palm in there and just...
It's a good way to get the stigmata blister from old Mario Party
I remember,
days.
yeah. They had to in Nintendo Power had like a little thing where they were like, "Hey, just FYI, don't do this.
Don't do this. Don't use the God Gamer strats. Don't use the professional gamer strats." I was like, no, I got stars to win. I'm not gonna let Bowser win this game of fucking tug of war.
I'll also get I'll get more respect at church when I show up with the fucking stigmata too. It's a win-win. But anyway, we're then permitted to enter the little encampment, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there's a jackass sitting on a chair who sees us. I'm sorry, we don't even know anything bad about this man yet. I apologize.
I remember the first line that he says. And like the way his voice actor is, I was like, I kind of remember Curtis saying he doesn't like this character, and I was like, he seems nice. And then within like 2 lines, I was like, oh fuck this dude.
I know. So first of all, so this is Maester Keenock, and speaking of like the delivery of his lines, you know how like a couple episodes ago, I think Alex, you said that Seymour sounds very kind of averagey. This man sounds so fucking averagey, it's ridiculous. Like
he doesn't look again. Like I feel all the old men in this game just don't sound old. Except for, like, the one guy at the temple in Besaid.
Yeah.
Talking about the sick new statues I got.
Yo, hell yeah.
I don't know what this guy just is an odd voice to him. Anyway.
So, just to, like, kind of paint a picture of what he looks like what was that dude's name in Game of Thrones? Varys, I think? I have
not seen.
The, like, bald guy with the, like, yellow robes.
Eunuch.
Yeah. He looks just like that guy, pretty much.
Yeah.
But he's wearing, like, a circlet on his head and some kick-ass gray fingerless gloves.
Oh, he does. I didn't even notice those gloves.
Yeah,
those are a good
good
choice. That's a good choice. I like that.
Yeah, but I mean, he's like a kind of like chubby, like bald, like like high priest or whatever.
Looks like Bobby Hill.
But
yeah, it's Bobby Hill.
All grown up.
That maester ain't right.
I appreciated that. For the first time, anybody in like Yevon at all doesn't see Yuna and immediately just be like, "Oh, Yuna" or whatever.
Yeah.
He sees Orin and gives Orin a hug, and I was like, You know, like you were saying, at first you're like, oh,
Yeah,
maybe
I
he's
saw
not
that.
too bad.
I'm like, well, if Oren lets him hug him, then surely Curtis must be wrong.
Yeah. No, it's the children who are.
Curtis is jealous of more.
Yeah, that's right.
Hands
Yeah,
off my
that's right.
man.
It's the same reason that Titus doesn't
Just
like
like Seymour.
Seymour.
Yeah, like Mr. Keenock because he's too close with Oren. And Keenock says,
Oh, I had heard from Seymour, but I didn't know if we'd actually meet. Good to see you, Oren. 10 years, is it?
and we see Lulu kind of giving an aside to Titus. She says, that's Wen Keenock, one of the 4 maesters of Yevon.
I love that, like, Lulu clearly doesn't really like Titus for a lot of reasons.
I know.
But I like that, like, when this shit's happening, she's like, oh yeah, Titus doesn't know who this is. Yeah. By the way, dude, this is...
No,
like,
I love it. I love it.
Before you make a fool of all of us.
I feel like, you know what?
I guess it is for that reason. But I was like, oh shit, hell yeah. Lulu's like letting him be a part of the club. Hell yeah.
Wait, this is like the first time where
he's a guardian though now, right?
Yeah, it's true.
I do feel like this is like the first time where we're a team.
Yeah.
Like we're a crew now. You know what I mean? Like we've kind of gotten past a lot of our differences. Like we've accepted that like Walker's racist.
Mm-hmm.
We'll work on him. We'll work on him. We got a whole game to play. But yeah, I agree with you. I do like that.
Actually, on closer inspection, he's not wearing a circlet, which would have been way cooler. It's just a hat.
Oh yeah, you're right.
And I guess a move that Final Fantasy X does a lot.
It's skin color.
It's not quite skin colored, but like
That's why I thought it was Bobby Hill again. It's the color of like Bobby Hill's hair.
Yeah, like the
it's
first
just like buzz cut.
Yeah, it definitely looks like that.
His tiara.
We'll say that it is. And Lulu continues on.
Like a Jughead hat.
But she continues on. He leads the warrior monks and also commands the Crusaders.
Yeah, which is interesting because
they were kicked out of Yevon.
No, not so much that, but at the Blitzball tournament with the warrior monks. I feel like they're kind of at odds with the Crusaders.
They are.
So it's weird that they have the same leader when...
Well, it's like operations and sales.
Yeah. Yeah. He's the CEO.
Go team operations.
Despite being banished, he's still kind of in charge of them, I guess. That's interesting.
I wonder if all Crusaders have, but I think maybe it's just the offset that's working with the Albed. But he's a Maester of Yevon, and here he is. But again, Walker's even asked multiple times, like, why are the Maesters here? Why is Yevon overseeing this? Yeah. So it is kind of weird. Gata runs in for a second. Or actually, well, he does run in for a second. He says,
all troops ready to move at your command, sir.
Good. Dismissed.
Keenock says, tell me, Oren, where have you been the last 10 years? And Oren once again, deflects
so
it.
Fucking good, dude.
We don't have time for this now, do we?
And Keenock says, this plan won't work. You know that. We'll let him dream just a little longer. And like Titus hears it and is like, what?
What the fuck are you talking about,
well,
dude?
Yeah, what is he talking about? What the fuck does that mean? Seymour's here as well. And he says, Lord Keenock. And Keenock's like, oh yes, proceed. And as he like walks away, we see Oren, and Oren like scratches his chest and says, that Keenock, a maester?
Yeah, and Keenock says, I heard that, Oren.
Yeah.
Like, he was like making fun of him while he was still in earshot.
I know, which is like a real baller move.
Hell yeah, dude.
Keenock says, a lot has happened in the last 10 years. What were you doing and where? And Oren says, fulfilling a promise I made to a friend. I still am.
Yeah.
Which is cool, yeah. And Keenock says, tell me one thing. Have you seen Xanarkand?
This is also a very anime scene because Keenock and Oren are standing, like they just passed each other, but they're standing with their backs to one another while still talking to each other.
Right. Yeah. So, yeah, I get a feeling that, like, so Oren and Keenock clearly know each other.
Yeah.
And Keenock's not the first one. Seymour has also been like, what's been the deal with Oren? Where's Oren been?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So there's this question about that. And I guess he's in Xanarkand.
Yeah.
Watching after us, right?
Yeah, hanging out with Titus.
Hanging out with Titus, being a real big Abe's fan.
Making fun of him for not winning the game and calling it his fault.
Your team lost because of you. Oh, fuck you. Yeah. And then we kind of cut over to Yuna and Titus hanging out together. And Yuna says, I kind of think we don't belong here, which I kind of feel too.
Yeah.
Like we kind of, like we're not part of this operation.
We also explicitly do not belong here because we weren't allowed best and we had to have Seymour allowed.
Yeah. And then he requested our presence.
Yeah.
So like, we're just trying to go to the temple at Yevon Jose or whatever.
Yeah.
That's where we were trying to go. So it is. I feel like Yuna feels here. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't seem like we're in the right place. So one of the guards says, "It is time at last. We must tell the Al Bhed waiting outside to begin the operation at once. The fiends may break through. This place is not safe. Make sure you're prepared to defend yourselves. Tell me when you're ready.
Yeah.
And then we get to walk around a little bit in the encampment. And there's some items. Like, I got a mega potion.
Another mega potion, which is good.
I talked to Lulu first because those relationship mechanics.
Simping hard.
Simping hard.
Hell yeah.
Hardly simping.
Who did I... Who did I talked to an Al Bhed first. Oh, no, I talked to Waka first. Shit.
Lulu says, anything could happen. Make sure you're ready for combat. And Yuna's standing right next to her, and she says, I'm a little nervous.
Yeah.
And then there's a Serene Bracer here.
Yeah.
Which is for Auron and also gives him Berserk Ward.
Yeah.
Yeah, Waka, yeah, he says, with them here, it's like Yevon authorizes this whole operation.
Yeah, so he's like pissed about it.
Oh, he's so pissed. He's so mad. That Al Bhed you were talking to, who's speaking in Al Bhed, what he says in Al Bhed is, we have the ancient Machina. This operation will succeed. Our Machina will prove that Yevon's teachings are not the way.
Ooh.
Ah.
Interesting.
Oh, and then he does say 2 more things. Talking to him a second time, he says, a summoner, ... I will report this later. That's what the ones in the locker room said. And then the last one he says is, being around Yevon's followers makes me sick.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. And then if you talk to Auron, he just says, go to Yuna. But Yuna doesn't say anything else.
Yeah, she just says, I'm nervous.
Yeah. I went back outside the little enclosure, and somebody's buying stuff from Owaka. and the person, like, there's this the Crusader there, and she says, that merchant is obviously ripping people off. I guess it can't be helped. He's the only game out here. I asked him for a discount. You know what he said to me? You're gonna die anyway. What's the point?
What a fucking asshole.
Dude, Owaka sucks.
Dude, fuck Owaka.
Yeah, and she goes, well, I wonder what he's gonna do when the battle starts.
He's gonna strip people of their, their goods and sell them to Titus
Fucking
later
asshole.
at inflated prices.
Did you talk to the guys giving the pep talk?
No.
It was really funny. So there's this captain by the farther out that's like pacing back and forth in front of soldiers. He says, we're only moments away from commencing Operation Mihen. Spear's fate hangs on the outcome of this mission. We will do our duty as soldiers and defeat Sin this day. And everyone says, sir. And then if you talk to the captain, he says, it's important to spur my men on every now and then. Maybe I should give him another pep talk to be sure. And, and then if you talk to the soldiers again, like, man, you think he shut up after 5 times, or is that 6? It's like another guy's like, the captain who keeps repeating himself, he must be really nervous.
That's awesome.
Which just like kind of adds like, if you just keep talking to him, he keeps doing it over and over again.
I think I talked to those guys when I first got there, and I just like did the first line of dialogue, and then I was like, I'm not too interested in that, whatever. And that's such a good thing that Final Fantasy games do, though, where it's like a back and forth like that. Like
this one has been especially good about that.
Yeah.
10 is especially good about having multiple text boxes with everybody.
Yeah.
And like really,
and depending
like
on who you talk to after, which like they're not like in other games like 7, if you talk to one guy, like you maybe go down like a list of things they would say, but
yeah, right.
And 10, like there'll be a list of things to say, but depending on who you talk to after,
Yeah,
which is
yeah.
really cool. Like that someone will say something after you talk to someone else. And so,
right.
That's so good.
it adds a lot of really fun dynamics.
And like going back to do things has been really cool. Like
Right.
Darmok was saying, like when you go back to the Mihan High Road, nobody's on it. Or you were just saying, like you try to leave Mushroom Rock Road, and they're like, no, we blocked this off. It's too late. You went back. You went past it. So like that's cool. So like this game is really good at that. I will say, there's a lot more depth to it than needs to ever be dealt with. You know what I mean? Like there's no reason you need to do any of this stuff.
I feel like even modern games are kind of lazy and maybe pull shortcuts.
Yeah, absolutely. Which like I'm not to disparage.
No.
Again, like this
There's
is
so
going
many
above
games
and beyond.
that anticipate you just moving forward, but like
Yeah.
I love that Final Fantasy rewards you for kind of backtracking.
Yeah, right.
I think it's also cool, especially considering.
Do you remember the Rufus effect? The one NPC whose dialogue changed after a scene in 7. Where like in the entire world there was one person who said something new, and they were like, the economy is doing really well now. It must be that Rufus effect.
Yeah.
So like whenever I think about like Final Fantasy, like going out of their way to change dialogue of like an NPC way far away that you would never go talk to, I'm always like, that's the Rufus effect.
I am curious of like where like instances like that where that line exists in a code relation to other things. Like, oh yeah, it's just the next line down.
Yeah.
It's like, because to us it feels super far away because it's literally like on the other side of the map. But on the disk it could just be
it's
like
just
a little code
inside of an array or something.
Yeah, it's like NPC number. Like just go quickly down. Okay, after this point, change this NPC. They just picked a random NPC and just like that one.
Yeah. That's awesome. That's really cool. But and then there's a guard in the little tent, who will ask us if we're ready to go and we can begin Operation Mihin.
I got a good feeling about this.
I think it'll be fine. I think it'll be fine.
We're finally gonna get rid of Sin.
We got those Albed cannons, baby.
We got this nice little place in Luca that we're gonna go back to after this.
I am a fan of the Albed.
Gonna party hard.
Party hard, hardly party.
You're not afraid to say it.
I'm not afraid to say it. I love the Albed.
I've done more for the Albed than anyone.
No. We live in hell. Anyway, yeah, I think good time. I only see good times on the horizon.
It'll definitely be an upbeat episode.
I'm not ready yet, but I think after a week of prep, I will be.
Yeah, but that's where we're gonna leave it today. And next week we are going to talk about Operation Mihin.
So next week we're going to go up until the point where we go back to Luca to fucking party with those soldiers that we just killed Sin with, baby.
Yeah, that's right, baby.
Yeah.
They said they already got the reservation.
They got the reservation. We're on the list.
Get the turtlenecks. Get the chains.
Yeah.
Break out the Zima. It's time.
It's going to be classy as fuck.
Oh, it's going to be so good.
Elma's gonna be there.
I got some T-Square Cassiopeia records, luxurious.
Gonna try and set up Elma with Lucille.
Oh man, love it.
It's gonna be a good time.
They're so cute. Oh my god, what if there's like fireworks and they like hold hands under the fireworks? Ah!
Lucille zooms in on her face and she points up as the fireworks in the moon.
It's gonna be good. I have a good feeling about Operation Mihin. Alex is fanning himself off. Yeah. So that'll be next time. Literally, like, just so people know where to stop, we will stop at the entrance to Jose.
Yeah,
is where we'll stop. Which I mean,
Jose
like,
Shore?
the Jose Shore. So if you're like, oh, I thought it was just gonna be Mihin or whatever. Like, as soon as we're done with Operation Mihin, we are like one screen away from Jose. So like we're right there.
Yeah.
So let's just go up until the people will be able to have a save point. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So we'll go up to the entrance of Jose next time. Operation Mihin, baby. Got a good feeling about them since spawn.
Yeah. What could possibly go wrong? We have a great plan. We're getting blasphemous.
Put in a clip of Bubsy saying, "What could possibly go wrong?" Right?
What could possibly go wrong?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's all I got.
Big plot drops.
I would like to announce that Carl and Alex will have to find another third person because I bought inline skates and I don't have a helmet yet. I will get one, but it's entirely possible that they'll be burying me before this season's up.
Much like
you need like a Ghetto Blasters blasting disco music.
Yo, I know. Look, I'm already on it. Like I've already picked one out online that I'm going to get. I'm so excited about it.
I was going to say, much like Gata, you should just bend the rules a little bit and not wear a helmet while you're doing it. What could possibly go wrong?
What could possibly go wrong?
I was trying to think of how to phrase that because I was like, I don't want to leave it hanging too long that like so it sounds like I'm quitting or something. I'm not. But yeah, I was like, I don't want to be concerned. But yeah, so how about you guys? Got anything going on?
I mean, I'm just working on music suddenly.
Oh yeah.
With y'all.
Oh yeah.
With y'all because of
we
Darmok.
might have to be hush hush for right now, but we are doing a little musical project with 2 past guests of the show.
That's true.
Yeah. Finally put all those hours to work.
Yeah, it's a big old podcast chili.
Yeah. a stew.
We got ourselves a gumbo.
You know, more people listen to podcasts than eat gumbo.
Yeah. We have a new shirt design because of last episode. It's our new B-State Orox.
Yeah.
Philly flavored design.
Yeah.
If you're wants to show your support for Philadelphia-ish.
Or the Orox.
Or just the Orox, whatever. I think it's a cool design. I'm really happy with how it came out.
Yeah, no, it looks great.
It looks so good.
Yeah, I got some mugs coming in, some stickers.
The Mugly mugs.
They look great on shirts. I'm going to look into seeing how hard it is to get jerseys made.
Oh, that'd be really good.
Hell yeah,
Some
dude.
Orox jerseys. Oh,
hell yeah.
So good.
Support your favorite underdogs. Trust the podcast. Trust the process.
That's the podcast.
Yeah, let us know which Besaid Auroch you're gonna put on the back of your jersey.
They're all 0.
Aw. I hope they're doing okay.
Jasu.
Jasu, yeah.
Jasu's moving.
I know.
Jasu train.
I'm gonna get Keepa 69.
Yeah.
Nice. But yeah, we are on Instagram, Twitch, Twitter,
Discord.
If you have a Discord, go to Twitter, get a link to that. But otherwise, thanks to Night of the Round for the theme music. Thank you to Masashi Hamauzu, Nobuo Uematsu, and Juno Nakano for the game music.
Yeah.
It's still good. I love flipping back and forth between the arranged and the remastered.
Yeah,
it's very
really
good.
nice.
And I mean, I have so much appreciation because I'm the one making loops for it. Loops of it for the podcast.
Right.
Leave us a review on iTunes. Leave us a voicemail at 530 material. And I've run out of things to say.
And have a good week.
Have a good week.
Get some rest for Operation Mayhem. It's gonna go.
Yeah, you want to get some rest for that. That's true.
Yeah, stock up.
Buy everything you can from Owaka.
Don't buy anything from Owaka.
Yeah, fuck that, dude.
Fuck Owaka. All right. Here, I'm gonna give us a real good. Closer. Y'all ready for this? Bye.